For the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. First up is the approval of the agenda.
I'll move for the approval of the agenda for January 23, 2024.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion? All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed say no. Agenda is approved. Next up is the consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as submitted.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I have one question on quarterly financial update on the marijuana fund. How do we have $8,600 worth of expenditures?
What we do is we put some of the police expenses in there for inspections and administrative fees. That's about the only expenses that we can really incur, and there's a percent that's allowed by state law, and we're well below that.
Okay, I just thought it sounded kind of high, so I figured I'd better ask.
Kinda high.
No pun intended.
And I didn't even know, I didn't realize that until after you guys said that. Okay.
Oh,
That's all I have.
okay. Is there any further discussion?
Yeah, that brings to mind,
Yes.
why are the revenues so low in that fund? In the marijuana?
I am going to flip back to there. Primarily, we just haven't received any of the renewal fees. Those are due soon.
Yes.
Yeah, there's not a lot of money that comes in. There's an application fee, and I always get the numbers wrong. Brenda probably has them better than I do. Yes, that was a segue.
Yes, I do. That $5,000 each is what they'll have as far as renewal for
Okay,
each of the two.
okay. So neither of them have obviously come in yet.
Not for this year,
Okay,
I'm pretty sure. What are we in? Yeah, no, not for this year.
Yeah.
okay.
It's only January.
That's it, thank you.
Okay. There's no further discussion. All those in favor say yes.
Yes.
Opposed say no.
No,
Consent agenda is approved. Next up, messages from the mayor, council, and city manager. City manager.
The only thing I've got this evening, Your Honor, is maybe a memory check on my part. We had a discussion about the ADA parking spot for Piccadilles. And I'm not sure, again, checking my memory, where the city council landed on that. Was it a 50-50 cost share? Or was it 100% on them?
My understanding of that is, this was at the work session, was it not? We
I
discussed.
think 2 work sessions
Yes.
ago? Yeah.
My understanding is that we discussed that, and the council was for going with a 50-50 if the property owner was for it as well.
Okay.
Is that what?
Because I remember we were discussing, we're gonna do it during the construction of,
That it was an option.
during Warner too, wasn't it?
Correct.
Yeah,
Right.
Correct. Okay.
old memory.
So, but there wasn't an actual vote taken, it was just a consensus.
Correct. Along with, at least parameters for discussion with the property owners.
Yes.
Okay.
We could go back and check the
It's
recordings.
not reflected in the minutes.
It's not? What
That's
about
why.
the videos?
We probably could, but if council's
Possibility.
comfortable that it's
Yeah, I don't.
no more than a 50-50, I'll go with that.
Okay. Okay, well. Steve, you have anything for us tonight?
I had something I was thinking of. Just
disappeared at?
Been down at
Oh, what, I was wondering what is on our agenda for the meeting next time? If there's any.
The next work session?
Next work session, yeah.
I believe right now we have continued discussion on appointments. We have parking or parent drop-off at the upper elementary school and a review of the deer culling.
Okay.
I think those are the 3 items that I've gotten so far.
That's what I was, interested in. Very good, thank you.
Yep.
That's all I have.
Scott?
I have nothing tonight.
One thing, just curiosity, we're still missing a painting down on Mears? Wasn't there 3 of them there at one point?
Yeah, and Brian was arranging for delivery of the 4th one. You're talking on the side of the buildings?
Yeah, just.
Yeah,
the
that
ones
was
missed.
taken in and,
She was gonna rehab it or something.
yeah, and I believe it's completed. We're just looking at coordinating, getting it back here and rehanging it.
Cool. That's it?
Well,
Sir?
I mentioned it at the last meeting, but let's throw it out again that this Thursday I'm going to the municipal league class for new board.
It's a good class, it's a good thing to take. Anything else?
That's it for me.
Okay.
I just remind council and everybody that I will be absent from the next 2 meetings. And thanks for your already approving my absence.
Daniel?
Just one other thing, Scott, on the work session for February senior millage, I had provided some ideas. I don't, although, if that's timing, and I would like just some further clarification on how to send materials to council. I'm aware that we don't want to entertain a discussion. On the other hand, I thought that it was okay to send something in advance of a meeting in which we would have a public discussion. So I would like a little clarification, because sometimes I want to send some information to council and I want to do it in a legal way.
Right.
I don't need it right now, but
Yeah, no.
that's...
Yeah, normally, if it's anything that, even if you just send something out, what you can't do is deliberate, and so,
Yes.
and even if you're not necessarily deliberating, it can tend to lead toward deliberating, so it's better to send, if there's something you want distributed out, would be to send it to the office and have them send it out.
Okay.
To Brenda or Scott, have somebody, and then they can distribute it out.
And
But
then-
that avoids any kind of email chains going between
Okay.
council members.
But then we can't deliberate on what they send out either, right?
No.
Okay. I don't know, I still don't really see the distinction, but I...
Well, because if it comes from, it's where it's tricky, is if it comes from council members, it can tend to, no matter what's said, it tends to sort of open the discussion. It's just a safer process to do it that way.
Okay, that's fine, yeah. I do have a few comments from the Solid Waste Authority meeting, and I'm wondering how best, I'd like to give a little update. Do you want me to provide, I can provide that to Brenda in advance, and you can just go on the next meeting, but I'll just give you a quick one right now. Just, we met last week. Actually, almost all of the members are the same, and I've been off for like over 7 years. So those are very faithful Solid Waste Authority board members. Just one different one. Just a couple things. Metal must be up because it's helping to provide a small profit for the, how we operate the transfer station. Paper is now going to be collected with glass and plastic. So the big bin that has glass and plastic, we're now going to put paper in. But, I do think we need to really encourage, if we could even have a little education on our newsletter about keeping it clean, because people ask me if loads get thrown away, and you know what? I bet you if there's a whole bunch of dirty recycling, that's a possibility. Our free day is May 18th. I'll get the thing that we need to put up about that. Whitehall Township is considering using coupons with their senior millage funds. And we'll revisit that back in April, and maybe that's something some of the other municipalities want to participate in. Also, I know we have Kurt's disposal. hopefully we are recycling paper. That's all I'm gonna say. So, that's all.
That's all? Okay. I've got a couple of things. I want to start off with, I got a message from Ryan Briegel. He wanted to have me convey to the staff how grateful he is for the job of snow removal that the city's doing downtown. So he's couldn't be at the meeting, but he's happy for that. I want to report back on last week I was at the West Michigan Regional Shoreline Development Commission meeting, and I sit on the Transportation Policy Committee, and we approved a $400,000 expenditure for early preliminary engineering study for the replacement of the bridge over the White River. So that's something that's coming down our future here in the next couple of years. Sounds like probably at least 2 years before they get to it, but it's certainly in our future that that bridge is going to be replaced.
Is that in bad shape?
There's definite problems with it that were caused by the high water that we had.
Okay.
So this is initial engineering study to see what needs to be done, but bridge replacement is definitely in the future of that. So that's coming.
Steve, a question. Are they considering to raise the road or any of
Yes,
that kind of?
that's a
along with
part
it?
of it, and part of it is going to be what the Corps of Engineers, what their requirements are. So raising the road bed is definitely on the table.
Right.
Steve, a question for you.
Yes.
Did they have any talk about just the extreme highs and lows of our water levels and how our new infrastructure needs to reflect those changes going forward?
There wasn't any specific discussion like that at this
Okay.
meeting, but that is a part of the plan for this organization to look at those things.
Okay, good.
Their mission statement says it is to promote and foster regional development in the West Michigan through cooperation and amongst local governments. So
Oh,
that would cover that. And then last night I attended the Whitehall Township board meeting, and one of the things that came out of that was they approved the articles of incorporation for the White Lake Fire Authority. They were the last member to approve that, so the White Lake Fire Authority can now move forward with their plans for the future, which is a good thing. They, as far as the solid waste coupon thing they talked about, it was discussed and they made no decision on it, so they're still kicking that idea around. They approved a 3.2% raise for their members based on the Social Security index, with a 7% for their city clerk, as a result of saying that because they're doing so much more work in association with this new 9-day voting schedule, they felt it was fair to give them more pay for their job. So I guess when we talk budget, it may be something that we want to talk about.
How often does your transportation committee meet? Is it once a year?
Once a month.
Once a month,
Once a month, yeah.
okay.
And MDOT sits at that as well, and it's an opportunity to ask questions right straight to MDOT. And one of the questions I asked was about the road diet that we've talked about and Montague's talked about, and they still are interested in it. And their answer was, well, we're still talking, we're still looking at it. So there doesn't appear to be any movement on their part. And I also asked them about a crosswalk on Colby. I know people have approached me asking for crosswalk to be put on Colby. There's definitely a need, and their response was they just needed to hear something from our city administrator that we want that, which I conveyed to Scott. And so hopefully this summer we can have a safely marked crosswalk for
Colby Thompson area is what you're talking about?
Colb's.
Somewhere around there?
I'm guessing maybe Elizabeth, Franklin, Warner.
Oh, this way?
This way,
Oh, I
yeah.
thought we talked that
No,
way.
this way.
Okay.
Well, you'd have to, people would have to really slow down.
Well,
You would need a
It's-
stoplight too.
well,
And turn your eye, I pass that off to Brian Armstrong, and he has contacted the MDOT reps, and they're just talking about which street,
mhm.
whether it be Elizabeth or Franklin. I know in springtime, the middle school, Upper Elementary, goes over to Funnel Field for their field days. I'm not sure how much more pedestrian traffic is further down, but you do get into more of the commercial the further east you go. And there's a lot of people that do walk to Dollar General and some of the businesses in that area. So,
Is this always on a, like a third Thursday or
It's generally the fourth Wednesday.
fourth Wednesday?
It's an open meeting. It's
Where do you have
It's
it?
at the old Seal Power Building downtown on Terrace,
The pyramid?
not the pyramid. The, I don't know, 6-story building,
Uh-huh.
used to be
Where's
Seal
that?
Power.
Right by,
Terrace Park.
Unemployment,
Yeah.
Terrace Plaza, I think they call it.
well, the
Right by the
unemployment
home
office
dealer.
is on the first floor or something?
No.
Yeah, it's on the third floor.
The
Unemployment.
meeting is on the third floor.
No, but it's that building.
It's that building, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
okay.
like a 6-story building right behind the farmer's market.
Right, okay.
You know, I can certainly give you a heads up when the next meeting is coming up for that, but
All right, that'd be
as
great.
soon as I'll let you know when I know when the meeting is.
Sounds interesting.
Yeah. There's always a lot of information passed along. And I guess the last thing is two things. Tomorrow was the library board meeting at the library at 5:15, if anybody's interested in attending that. And I'll be at the meeting with the community meeting with Camores tomorrow night at 5:30 at White River Township Hall. So. And that's all I have. Next, we have public comment. Anyone like to come up and speak?
Good evening. Kevin Goff, 1010 South Cove Circle. I just want to announce that Saturday, July 20th, is a walk to beat in the White Lake area. And I'd also like to thank the city of Whitehall for their generous support in 2023. Our festival relies on community support, and we were very fortunate in 2023 to receive that support. And just as an example, Walk to Beat is much more than just a one-day festival. Because of the support that we received in 2023, we were able to give $5,200 to 19 area students for music scholarships and equipment. And this year, we're getting quite a few more requests than we had last year. So it's a big impact for our students in the area. 13 of our local nonprofit organizations in the White Lake area, through their raffle ticket sales, were able to make a total of $8,000. So it was a good way for them to make revenue for their cause. The downtown areas of Montague and Whitehall had a tremendous economic impact that day. We've heard from many of the businesses about how packed they were. And one business in particular said they had record sales that day. 38 music acts, most of them local, some from the area, some from out of state, played in Walk to Beat. And the winning band received 40 hours of recording studio time. And they were also given $1,000 to play on the Grand Haven Coast Guard Festival parade float. 75 participants who attended Walk the Beat received a total of $4,000 in door prizes. And then finally, a pleasantly surprised grandmother in her late 70s won $5,000 as our raffle prize. So as you can see, it's a lot more than just a one-day music festival. It has a huge impact on our communities. And the executive committee has heard from several area residents since we had our event last July. We've heard how much they appreciated it and that they're hoping it can remain an annual event. So once again, thanks to the city of Whitehall for their support.
Thank you. Kevin, did I not hear that the Walk the Beat was recently received a...
Well, I haven't heard anything about that.
You haven't heard
Yeah.
that? Would you like to share
Sure.
that with us, please?
So again, we rely on funds from the, and support from area businesses and organizations. And this past week, we were the ones that received the $10,000 from the White Lake Women's Committee. So that's gonna be a big help.
Very happy to hear that.
Yes.
All right. Any further public comment? All right. Old business, any old business?
No, sir.
No old business. New business, resolution 2405, access agreement.
I will move resolution 2405, the access agreement between City of Whitehall and White Lake Landfill.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Is there any discussion?
I have a few questions.
Yes.
Scott, they've had monitoring wells there for a long time, right?
Yes.
And are they going to be placing new monitoring wells in?
No, this is just now that the city has acquired that portion of the property, they need the access agreement from us. They're gonna continue their monitoring under an Eagle schedule.
Okay, so no new wells, but they have to, they have to have agreement from us to access them.
Yep, to access our property, which, I believe there's half a dozen wells on our property.
Okay.
And it is also including a wider testing, including PFAS.
Yeah.
PFAS.
I know. PFAS and PFOA, I know it now is the latest way to say it. Do you know, do they have wells that go along the shoreline?
Offhand, I think they do, but I'm not sure, and I don't know if that map really, it's kind of small. And yours actually printed off way better than mine. I'm not sure as to the exact location, I can look in the file.
This isn't something we have to pass every year, is it?
This is a one-year agreement.
Or 1 year?
Yeah,
Okay, I guess it is then.
but it'll go with their schedule of testing. If, you know, if Eagle requires it every 3 years, you might see this once every 3 years.
Oh, I see. So they're planning to do it this year?
Correct. Yep.
Any further discussion? I would like to add, under the agreement, under item 2, access granted, the last sentence in that agreement says, owner shall be permitted to observe the sampling work if desired. I would like to observe that testing.
Okay.
So when they're doing that testing, I'd like, and I'm sure if there's any other council members that would like to observe that testing, they could be added to that list. But I certainly would like to observe that testing simply for my own knowledge of what they're doing and how they do it.
Well, the testing would be run at a different place than the sampling, wouldn't it?
Testing, sampling, yeah, observe the sampling, not, I'm sure that you're right, the testing would be done in a lab, but the
Like a
sampling
trace
is
or
what I'm
something, yeah.
referring to as
Right.
observing the sampling.
Probably would be, to add on to that, Steve, would be good to get the test results, just so we know.
Yeah. I don't know if there's any, I didn't read anything there that says that we're gonna get copies of the test results.
We probably should.
We should, it'd be something to ask for.
Yep, we will.
Okay. All right, if there's not any further discussion on that, roll call, please.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Brown,
Yes.
Sittenga,
Yes.
Kabala,
Yes.
Hillebrand,
Yes.
Zemer,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes. Okay, resolution 2406, budget amendment number 1.
Synopsis, can we hear?
Do you,
I'll move resolution 2406, budget amendment number 1, to get it on the table.
A second.
been moved and seconded. Any discussion? You would like some sort of
Some sort of a,
explanation
kind of a
from
quick
staff as
rundown,
to?
at least,
Okay.
run down the big numbers.
Alyssa, did you wanna? I'm not sure what she's doing back there. She's
You don't wanna
coming
know.
forward, is
You
she
don't wanna know.
giving me dirty looks?
No.
The larger numbers are project-based, so with the G Park and funnel, both of those, the funding wasn't there, so that's the removal that you see within the general operating fund and down the expenditure in parks. The other fluctuations, the police side of things, it's a new accounting measure. This was something the auditors brought to our attention, so I'm just making things right as far as the GASB standards are concerned for that. Other variations, there are some training opportunities that both Brenda and Brooke are going to be going to that will certainly aid to their everyday job here at the city. So you'll see that both up in administration and city clerk. Other small transfers are based on fluctuations where we under budgeted for the season from when we closed out the fall with the work done in routine maintenance such as major streets, local streets, parks, cemetery, those types of things. It's hard to guess. And so when we get to the 6-month mark, we can have a better idea of what we've spent and what we're going to need to spend for the upcoming spring. And then I did make quite a few changes to our revenue lines, which you're not seeing the revenue separated from the appropriations. I've given you a net figure, but I am happy to say that our investments are performing quite well. And that has significantly reduced what you would normally see as a negative, so very happy about that. And on the second page, again, with the, such as in the sewer fund, for example, the water system gallonage, we are using more of a static figure from the county at this point for our bonds and wastewater, but their fiscal year is different than ours. And so when those rates changed, they changed after we had already started our fiscal year, so I had to make the adjustment according to our new rates. Their fiscal year started in October. So that was at 56,000, but now that number will stay as is for the remainder of their fiscal year. And again, other fluctuations are just based like off of what I just said. It's just we're trying to do our best to manage. We can't always anticipate a tree falling or a water main breaking or different things like that. So that's basically it in a nutshell.
So we're well within our percentage, what's our goal, 35 or 30%?
Yeah, we'll definitely meet, if not exceed, our targeted fund balance.
Okay.
And one of the big things, to reiterate what Alyssa said is, CDs are back. They disappeared for probably close to 15 years. So we are investing. Alyssa will look at a number of banks, the ones that council has authorized us to do business with, get the best CD. We sit down, we talk about cash flow, because obviously we want to maintain an adequate cash flow. And the excess we've been putting into a number of CDs throughout the White Lake area. as well as, we're now in a pooled investment fund. And that is, doing extremely well. So the investment and interest earnings are doing fantastic for the city. As long as the economy stays good, we're doing good.
And on top of what Scott just mentioned with my class, it is a liquid investment. I can pull money out of it daily. So it's very popular amongst, it's actually only allowed for government municipality to be a part of, but it has plenty of members where I felt that we would be in good hands.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Anyone else have any questions? Okay, roll call please.
Holmstrom,
Yes.
Hillebrand,
Yes.
Kabala,
Yes.
Sittinga,
Yes.
Brown,
No.
Zemer,
Yes.
Salter.
Yes. Resolution 2406 is approved. Next up is Walk the Beat request.
I'll make a motion to approve the Walk the Beat request to use the city pocket park and the Walk the Beat reserved for the Walk the Beat day. I think that's all they asked for, right?
Yes.
Second.
Been moved in second. Is there any discussion? Okay, well, I think this is a wonderful thing to have Walk the Beat in our community, and I think we all support it. So all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed say no. That's approved. Next up is Sportfishing Association request. This is a request to, for the city to waive the fee to use the pavilion at the Goodrich Park.
I will move that we waive the fee for them to use Goodrich Park Pavilion on June 8th.
I second that.
Second.
Been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I've seen this up close.
As have I. It's a good
Very,
thing.
very well attended and really nice for the kids. They have a blast.
Absolutely. It's another wonderful event held in our beautiful park.
They've been around for a long
Yep.
time, and they do good things. So
Yeah. As he said, they also do the highway cleanup, so, yeah. Good group of people. All right, all those in favor say yes.
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 Opposed say no. That's approved. Next up is public comment. Anyone in the room like to have their say? Come forward. With that, no? All right. We're adjourned. Thank you all for coming.